Hello, everybody. It's Christina here. It is my first time to shoot a live video on Conscious Hour, and Kamrul Hassan is interviewing me, actually. But this time around, we decided that I was going to do it on Conscious Hour, and he's about to send me a request to come on with us. So I'm just waiting for him to do so, and let's see what happens here. In the meantime, I just want to say to you that we are just finishing off right now the end of the second quest that I've participated on with Speak and Inspire, Lisa Nichols' brilliant course. And it is actually just day 30. I believe we have 31 days. And it's been an absolute amazing journey and a privilege and an honor for me to have been on the quest, serving with 10 other fellow elders this time around, and also just going over once again everything that we learned on the first quest. So here's Kamrul. Give me a moment. He is sending me a request, I think. Are you, Kamrul? I am waiting. And let me see if I can request for him to join in. I don't actually know how to do that, but okay. Kamrul, are you going to give me a request to join in? Can you do that? I know you're watching and I can see you on, but I have no idea how to actually include you. So can you please help me out? The universe is with us, and I'm actually asking for help. Oh, you don't have any option. Okay, well, let me see here. It says, allow your viewers to request to join you as a guest. Yes, I am doing that. There we go. So there we go. I've got it. I've got it right here. Can you please come and join in, Kamrul? There we go. It says adding. You are coming on. This is the first of first, so I believe that we're making history here. There you are. How are you?
Good.
Yay.
Finally it happened.
Here we are together.
Good.
Perfect.
Yeah, so let me fix a bit, and I also need to share it.
Are you sharing it on your page or on your tribe?
On my page, and also on the tribe as well.
Perfect.
So just give me a moment.
This is a really lovely lesson in technology as well. I guess we need Leonardo or or Krasimir or something. Lovely. You think that I would be an expert now in all these, videos and everything, but apparently I'm not.
So I think, yeah, it's working. So let me also share it to the tribe. So
okay.
So hello, those who are just joining with us, just stay a moment. We just got the technology set up and it's working now. So just
Lovely.
Bear with us. So sometimes strange things happens.
Yes.
So it works, sometimes it does not work, but this time it's perfectly okay.
It is a perfect example how things unfold. But this is really exciting because, I'm just coming out into speaking and inspiring publicly. And apparently we need to learn how to work all our technology. And Samra said yesterday, Facebook, we need to chat with you. You need to make this easier for us. So here we go. All right.
Good. So just give me another my my globe. So
Your globe.
half of the globe. Yep.
Okay.
Globe represents. Oops. No problem. So it's just it doesn't want to stay there.
Okay,
Interesting.
Cameron, this
Good.
is becoming a real comedy act. We've got 5 people here. They're probably laughing with us, I hope. So bear with us.
Good.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's go.
If they're laughing, this is good. Good for health, good for heart. So we want people having a good health, good heart, and good mind.
Here
ultimately.
we are. Absolutely.
So, okay. So those who just joined with us. So let me introduce my guest. Just a second. I need to have your profile in front of me because you have enormous amount of profile. So hello viewers. It's good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. If you are in Asia, definitely it's good morning and it's early morning kind of just started your work. And if it is in other part of the world like America or in Canada, so it's in good evening. So welcome to all of you to the Global Success Stories show. So this is your platform where I'm bringing all the success stories from all over the world. And today I have one of the transformation that I am watching these days and these months and day and night, like a bird, like a flower blooms and gives its color manifolds, it's beautiful shiny color with fragrance and spreading all over the world. And I can see the real transformation with my guest, what's happening with Christina Hepburn, so who happens to be a realtor in many years, a decade, more than that. And then she was artist in her soul, as always. And then she became a underwater photographer, come natural conservationist. So she works all over the world and travels and works for his passion. And now we are seeing her transformation into another 2 different arena, that is writing books and publication at the same time as her speaking career. And she is going to share her wonderful transformation journey with us. And I believe that with this transformation, this is real. This is nothing fabricated. This is nothing a story. This is nothing that somebody writes and how to do it. It's not. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not. It's a real thing. This is which is happening, and the real transformation. And she is going to talk first time as well in international arena in Greece, and where she is going to share the blueprint of abundance. And I believe that this blueprint can really help us because this is based on real story. So without further delay, Christina Hepburn from Vancouver, British Columbia, I welcome you with this wonderful, glorious story.
Thank you.
Give us some glory.
Thank you, Kamarul. That's very, very kind of you. And I want to thank you for inviting me on your show and for giving us the practice with Conscious Hour to work out some technology here. Thank you, whoever has joined us. I believe today, Kamarul requested that I speak about being an artist. And I just want to touch on that a little bit because actually all my life, I've been an artist. And I think there's actually an artist in all of us. It all depends on how we want to express that artistry, whether it's through paint, through color, through pencil, through music, through video, through photography. There's so very many ways to express ourselves as artists. And of course, I started the traditional way as a painter. And I remember when I was a child starting off with paint by numbers. You guys remember paint by numbers, where you buy a little kit at the department store and you paint with little guides with little numbers in them. And I remember that, but also of course through school I did a lot of freelance stuff. And so that's how it all began. And then at some point in my life it actually got it got a little bit, it got shelved. And after school, where it's actually mandatory to participate in classes, I participated in life, and I went into real estate, and I went into, the business of making a living and creating a career. However, uh, in the late 1990s, one of my very, very close friends and mentors was actually an artist, and she was actually also the same person that put A Course in Miracles in my hand and in my life. And I said one day that I wanted to learn how to paint. And, we talked about it for a time being, and just one day I woke up and there was a very strong message to buy the paints and materials on that day. So that's what I did. I followed the prompts of my heart, and I started learning how to paint through the top BC artists here that live in Vancouver, and the rest basically becomes history. I first started in watercolor, and then I became more proficient in acrylics and in oils. And what I would do was I would take my photos, my subject matter, and I would paint it in watercolors. And by the time I started painting in acrylics, it was my underwater photography that I started putting on the canvas. And so I did as much as I could while creating a real estate career. But of course, in my later years, it became more and more prominent, and I became more and more invested and committed into becoming a better artist. And so, and I just painted last night for the first time in months, actually, inspired by some tribe members. And I'm very elated that I actually did that. So, yeah. There's a little
Great.
bit of history.
So, okay, so that's really, so why don't you take us through that? Definitely artistic mindset was there. I see your passion, I see your glory that you are magnifying. It does not came all of a sudden, I believe so. It cannot come all of a sudden. It was there while you born. And you had a purpose, you had something deep down inside. Maybe it did not get the real environment to prosper, to blossom like a flower. So that's really important for all of us, the viewers. But like all of us, we are going through real life, and all of us, we have something in our mind. At some stage, it gets to bloom, that we get to nurture it, we get to feed it, we get to care it. So right now, as you are experiencing this, so can you give us a little bit of a hint, like how did you feel, what did you feel while you were going through your profession? What really compels you to become an artist and underwater photographer, then speaker, then writer, and then I don't know, many things coming up. The universe responding you, calling you. What do you feel, my dear?
Yes, you're very correct. There's many things that have been calling at me, and the entire time that I was actually a realtor, and I just want to explain. I do very much enjoy being a realtor and gifting people their homes, and helping them find their dream homes. But during this time that I was in my career, there was always a little piece of me that felt like it wasn't complete unless I found that divine purpose. And that's, I think, what you are touching on, Kamrul, is, that passion in us. What is our real passion? And, we go through life usually sometimes thinking, is this it? Where do I find fulfillment? What was I put in this world for? And I always knew I was an artist. And it brings me back to this time as well, though, when I met one of my most closest spiritual mentors. And I said to him, I feel like I have been put in this world, in this lifetime, to contribute something significant. And by significant, I don't mean coming from ego, but coming from a place of really serving mankind, really serving the planet. And at the time, I thought, well, perhaps it'll be through my paintings or through my photography, just expressing beauty into the world. And I was already by that time thinking about wanting to go scuba diving and being more and more in touch with the ocean, which is a big part of my life. But he said, well, actually, I think you're going to write. And I said to myself at the time, I don't see myself as a writer or professional writer, although I had always been
very practiced in English literature and writing essays in school. So I kind of cast that aside and I kept journaling like I normally do. And so, of course, in the last few years, my writings have become more and more profound in terms of being guided by source in what I put down on paper. And of course, now I'm finishing a book that's due to be published this year. And so he was right. I mean, the passion to write, which is also part of being an artist, is definitely there with me right now. And it takes me to integrate my life as an artist. And of course, my experiences as a realtor helps because I've seen much about life through my real estate career and, traveling the world, being an underwater photographer. And so this is what's coming about. And of course, when I finally started the course Speak and Inspire, where I met you, Kamrul, that is where I really found that my divine calling is calling me now. It's time for me to step off that cliff and jump into the abyss and take a risk that there's something in me that needs to come forth and to serve. And I've come to a place of knowing that I have no choice. I absolutely 100% have to do this because I've been searching all my life for this integration with God fully. And only when we accept our divine purpose do I feel that we really are connected to ourselves fully and connected to Source and feeling like we are contributing like what we were asked to do coming into this lifetime. And it's experiential. Nobody can tell us what our divine purpose is. We have to come to that on our own. And a lot of it came from being completely still and asking for guidance. And here I am.
Absolutely, this is pretty powerful. Those who are just watching and would be watching, just Christina just left some clues that the passion it was always there for you, right? Because from the realtor career, then you have transformed into underwater photographer, scuba diving, and then you had a passion to save the underwater world. You had a compassion within you, and you let it to bloom in that format that has taken it to another form, whether you feel that you are more passionate, more purposeful. So that is your artistic mind, and that has taken it to another stage, maybe the Speak and Inspire. And when you allowed yourself to bloom, so it has given you the many colors, and then you see the entire universe is calling. You have shared today, within a day, you're 6 times you are showing up live and sharing your journey and inspiration, truly. So that means the universe is stretching, giving. So a lot of us would be hearing. So this is very important message to all of us, that if we have passion and if we are consistent, if we are calling our inner heart, irrespective of what you do at times, does not matter. Still, if we are passionate, we get the route, we get the ultimate path and destination. So it's fascinating. So that's a clue for us. And then how the blueprint of abundance, and what is actually that? So can you enlighten us a bit about?
That is a really good story. I love telling this story because on the last quest, prior to this second time around, when I was asked to serve as an elder, we were coming to the end of the first quest. And in fact, last year I was on a writing trip in Italy and in Greece, which was gifted to me. And I was very blessed to have been there. And I was sitting on a yoga mat. And right after a meditation and a yoga practice, I realized that it was such a perfect location and vortex. Where I was a spiritual vortex in Greece, and I thought this would be a perfect place to have a spiritual retreat. And who might I invite? What can I do to make something like that happen? And I thought about all these spiritual teachers that I knew that would do a very good job to invite some beings to share in their wisdom there. And of course, there was a little voice that came in that said, well, Christina, maybe it might be one of your retreats. Maybe you'll be ready by that time. And this was just last summer. And so I shelved that a little bit, and I came in to Speak and Inspire. And Lisa Nichols was asking us to create some engagements or make some commitments as to where we were going to speak and share our voice with the world. And of course, I picked some platforms here in Vancouver and on Vancouver Island to share at some women's shelters and some other avenues. But also I thought, well, something needs to happen in Greece. And on that same day, I spoke to Samra, and I spoke to Ina Neal, and I also spoke to Iskra Petrova. And I'm very close to very many speakers and participants on the quest. However, on this day, Divinity decided who was to be part of this speaking engagement with me as a joint effort, as a collaboration. And so it became very, very easy on that day. The moment I spoke to the three of them, they all said yes instantly. Like, it just felt really, really good. It felt right. And I spoke to the retreat center and the owners who know me from last year, and it came together in one day. And so now our event is September 11th to the 19th of 2018. We already have several members of the tribe of Speak and Inspire joining us. And Bluprint of Abundance came through all our efforts, several Zoom meetings between us, and we decided that we were going to have 5 topics that we would do over 8 nights. So it's 8 nights and 9 days. And the first day we will speak on prosperity. The second day we will speak on love. The third day we will speak on health. The fourth day we will speak on creativity. And the fifth day we will speak on service. So that's basically the blueprint of abundance of prosperity, love, health, creativity, and service. And we are taking our experiences on how Divinity has taken us from playing small to jumping off the abyss and taking a risk and taking our life's teachings and learnings to the world, to the international platform. So it was the perfect avenue for us to engage in public speaking together and with all our individual forms of serving as well. But this is something that we're very, very excited about because it came together divinely and completely from a place of wanting to keep the tribe together so that people could join and also have a speaking platform for them to share with the other participants who will come to the retreat. So that is in general the nutshell. And also during that time, we will be visiting 2 or 3 Greek islands, which are very close in proximity to the retreat center. And we will be visiting some sacred sites like the sacred site of Epidabros and the sanctuary of Asclepius, who is the god of healing. And his philosophy for healing is before we can heal the body, we must heal the mind and the spirit first. So,
Good. So first is healing the mind, right? The
inner
that is
self.
what I know. Yeah. Then like it's called like how do we season our mind and body? Just in order to receive something bigger. So we got to prepare ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually to keep it within that shell, within that shelf, or within that bowl, because it's mind or spirit, whatever we call it, this is we holding it in our body, in the shape of the energy, in the shape of the flesh and blood.
Absolutely.
But when mind gets connected with the divine force, so at the same time, mind needs a seasoning. At the same time, body needs to be seasoned as well. Yes, that is going to, like the way a mother gets ready for 9 months, 10 months, and then deliver it, the baby. So 9 months and 10 months of the preparation and calibration, and then the divine force instill all of that with the Om of the mother, and then that's how it comes.
Absolutely.
A lot of things So with this story, so my take, and I believe that those are watching, their takeaway is how to manifest a dream, how to listen to inner call, and how to step out of the comfort zone, and how to step beyond, think beyond, because everything is possible if we only concern about how, right? Maybe initially just tell us this about a bit, because all of us, we are concerned about how it is going to happen. Oh my God, I never been there, I never spoke, I never been to this. We always thinks about how, and it scares. But your way is you thought about why you want that, why you need it, right? Am I correct?
Absolutely.
So why you want to do that? So this is the difference between making it happen or stumble it and forget it.
Absolutely.
So we got to choose this, right? Now your call, like how you find out your why of doing it.
Yes, absolutely. You know, what I have learned through some spiritual teachers and through my journey is it is not up to us to figure out the how. The only thing we need to know and to focus on is the what. And to focus on that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And to have absolutely zero doubt in our hearts and in our minds that what we want or what we feel is divinely correct in our intentions will happen. The how is up to God and the universe and divinity to help us find our way, one lamppost at a time. Only the next step, only the next obvious step. That's the only thing we need to do. And I have also found in life that we don't solve everything that we think might happen in the future, because everything happens in the now, in the present moment, right now. And, you know, a lot of it is about uncertainty and being comfortable with uncertainty and being comfortable with living a life of divine trust, because that's really all there is. Sometimes we plan and plans change. And you know, there's a saying, a very famous saying that says, life is what happens when we're busy making plans. That just came to me this moment. I haven't actually thought about that in a long time. But that's a really, one really, really cute and funny way to look at it. But what my message is really about that is we have to focus on the what, that's it, and set the intention. And the how will fall into place.
Absolutely. So what happens usually for us, we have a bigger, lot of, everybody has a dream, and everybody has the capacity within himself or herself. But a lot of time what happens is we have a dream that's true, like a dream is a 10-story building, and every day we go to the downstairs and look at the 10-story building. Oh my goodness, how big it is. We only think it's a 10-story building. That is the dream, right? And we look on the top floor and get scared. How do I get it? Oh, wow. I'm not born in Europe. I'm not born in America. I'm not born in like in a rich family. I'm Asian. I did not get better education. I did not get better parenting, or I did not get better university education. So we bring excuses in front and look on the top. The message you said is pretty important. If I hear you, that you said look at one stair at a time. So that means if we have to climb on a 10-story building, we need to look at the ground stairs and step into the only one. Is it that you're meaning, right? And then
Absolutely.
right.
You know, we only need to know the next obvious thing, the next obvious thing to do. Like one of the things that Ina Neal actually teaches is, what is my purpose now? And you know, it is such an important thing to remember that we just live in the present moment, and we have probably many purposes in many ways at various different times in our life. But right now, what can I do now? What am I going to focus on now? We have our intention, and we have what we plan to do, but we can only do one thing at a time in the present moment. it took me a long time to get that, actually, being that I'm such a multitasker. And sometimes life lets us get away with that, you know, until one day, you know, I hit a wall, and it was really time to make a life change. And it was time for me to step into my purpose, into my calling, into the divinity of what my life's meaning really was here on the planet. And the step by step plan that I had, uh, I didn't even plan to do this for a year or two, or when was I going to do it, to come out to public speak and to write my book. It would have been a year or two from now. Oh yes, I'll do that when I have X number of dollars in the bank. I'll do that when everything is perfect in my life. I'll do that when this is absolutely taken care of. You know, we can come up with so many limiting beliefs, you know, whatever it is, you know, for us. And these limiting beliefs is what keeps us playing small, and it's what keeps us from creating the same results in our life. So I think really taking a risk is something that we must do, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. If I did not take a risk by, let's say, changing my whole life, changing my whole identity, stripping the image off, becoming more authentic, becoming more transparent, sharing myself more with the quest or with the tribe, I would never have come to this place of knowing that it was actually okay to do that, that the teachings come forth more rapidly, if you will, or more naturally. Because when we are stuck in a place of fear and worry, we're not being our authentic self, because we're not being in the present moment, and we're not accepting what divinity is asking us to do. That's my
Wow,
experience.
that is another powerful wisdom I take. That is the power of now. The
Mm-hmm.
power of now, which is also translated in some way that the presence, being presence. And Eckhart Tolle, he has written a legendary book, The Power of Now,
Mm-hmm.
and it also says that everything we got to do it today,
Mm-hmm.
as today is my last day. And if we consider, if we think, if we believe and act based on that, everything would be done, because there is no future, there is no past. Past is only some record in the mind. Past does not exist in any format, and neither the future exists, because tomorrow, what you think, and when you reach tomorrow, tomorrow being the present. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so there is no preservation that I would do tomorrow. Rather, if I can do it today, so that I don't have to be done it again. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what a very important take from your conversation. That's the beauty of the people that bringing, and that's the message actually I was trying to bring. And you have already told that for the listener, those who are watching, the power of now,
Mm-hmm.
being present rather than thinking beyond. I would do then, and procrastination in other terms we call it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a big killer. And limiting belief, what you again said. So we are unlimited. So what are the limiting beliefs that we have? If you can also shed light on that, and the abundance, since you're going to have abundance, and the limiting belief is just, maybe it stays together, but still it's an opposite.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a coin. So can you also give some light of shade on the limiting beliefs versus abundance?
Yes, absolutely. You know, when we were born as babies, when we come forth in the world, we were actually born perfect beings with no past conditioning, with no limiting beliefs. But once we start crawling in the world, and once we start dealing with adults, our parents, and their past conditioning, that's when a baby starts to find fear, create limiting beliefs in ourselves, and sometimes because of some of the unconsciousness that might come upon us through our life as we grow up, we start to create these limiting beliefs, like perhaps we're not good enough, or perhaps we're not worthy enough, or perhaps if we do something we'll get scolded, or if we are ourselves somebody will be disappointed, and then we no longer feel like we can express ourselves as who we truly are. And so we start gathering all these limited beliefs in our heads that we cannot be fully who we are. And we start to develop all these fears. And so what happens through life then is we start searching for ourselves again, through because our egos then start telling us things like we need to do this in order to feel better about ourselves. We need to have an image in order to protect ourselves from some of the pain that we might feel from some of the projections of others. So it's ego, projecting towards other egos. And we will always have an ego as the human condition that we have walking this planet. However, once we come to terms to know that we can become friends with our ego and to not be dictated by what the ego tells us what to do, we can then use it as a tool to grow and as a tool to deepen, to become more evolved and more enlightened, if you will, human beings on this planet. And that's where being in the present moment, when you talk about the power of now, when we are in the present moment, there's no past, there's no future, so therefore there's really no problems. We don't have a single solitary problem in the present moment when we're sitting there and we are breathing and just accepting whatever comes. And you bring up Eckhart Tolle, the author of the book, and he says in the book, for us to accept the present moment for exactly the way it is, as if we asked for it. And so when we're dealing with that, we're just accepting it as it is without any limiting beliefs, without any judgments. Therefore, when we're doing that, there is no sense of conflict or sense of negative feelings about anything that's happening in front of us. And so therefore, we're in a state of peace. And when we are in a state of peace, that means we are completely present. And when we are completely present, that means what we are still inside, and that means that the channel from divinity, from the universe, is open and clear to us. And that is where we can therefore act in terms of what divinity and source is asking us to do. And for me, it took a while to learn that. I mean, and I still never claim that I have graduated from the University of Life, and just because we become awakened to a certain level, and we all have our various times of awakening, life still happens. Things get dealt to us, life situations are brought to us. And I think that it's from us looking at those life situations and acting with as much consciousness and acceptance as possible so that we can stay in a state of peace rather than be in a state of conflict or charge. And that is where every present moment, one after the other, happens, because everything happens in the now.
Wow. Fantastic. This is what you're saying, that we got to accept now what we have been programmed, right? And a lot of time what you said is when you grow up, childhood or in the very early stage, we get other people's messages, beliefs, thought, and that becomes our thought. And that really occupies our subconscious mind, and we are driven by the subconscious mind as well. So that I cannot do that, how can I do that, that's not for me. So those are the limiting beliefs which is coming from another person. That's not me, that's necessarily not me. That is someone else's thought, someone else's belief. So why do we agree on that? Correct. This is what you said. And then today, what we are today is accumulated thought, belief of our actions, choice that we have made in the past. So first of all, what you say is we got to accept the reality, make the friendship with the presence. Yes, the hardship that came through, maybe this hardship is for me to make it further better, further stronger, further purposeful. So once we accept it, maybe we can go to the next step, elevate the next step. Right? That's the message? Probably I'm just debriefing it for the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
We do not do peace, right, with our past, and as a result, we keep on bringing the past as a luggage on our shoulder,
Yeah.
and it becomes heavier. It becomes heavier. And you
Mhm.
cannot walk.
Mhm.
As you go to walk,
Mhm.
okay, it's because all the past is on my head, on my shoulder. It occupies in my mind, in my thought, in my energy.
Yeah.
Is that right? That is what you are saying. That's
Yeah.
a very beautiful message. Oh my God, this is really, we cannot, maybe unconsciously we bring it. We even do not know sometimes, and it makes us heavier. Wonderful, and thank you. So what
You're
else
welcome.
is this just like a pearl of wisdom? So this one thought can change anyone's life. I believe so, really.
Yeah.
This one thought is enough to change, because if you can make friendship with the past, we'd be so lighter.
Yes.
We can climb up.
Yes.
Life
Absolutely.
is a journey, right?
Totally.
Can you take us through, like, life is a journey, and yeah, not a competition. Whom do we compete?
It's not a competition. I mean, what I experienced when you were saying those things, Kamrul, is, you know, everything that happens in the past or everything that happened in the past is an illusion. Because the one thing we have to remember about the past is that it is not here. So therefore, whenever we are in the past, it is just an illusion that we are playing in our minds. It's like a movie. And so our limiting beliefs are coming from the past, from our past conditioning, from our past hurts. And therefore, we are afraid to get hurt or to repeat those hurts that we had experienced in the past. That's what makes us afraid to take a leap forward, you see. And then, of course, the matter of we ask for people's opinions, or, people then are projecting their limiting beliefs based on their own conditioning and projecting them towards our lives, perhaps, or towards an opinion. That's where it comes to the point of we need to trust ourselves and we need to be still. We need to get on that yoga mat. We need to sit cross-legged on our couch, on the floor, anywhere. Or if we're in the middle of a subway and we're sitting there and we need to be still, we put our headsets on. It's a good practice to know that life happens around us. And sometimes we just need to go inside and trust and reconnect. It only takes a split instance. We don't have to be at a spa. We don't have to spend tons of money to be in a particular place, a particular island. Oh, I need to go on vacation to leave my life. Because you know what? Wherever we go, we take ourselves with us. So whatever's going on in here,
Hmm.
even if you're in a 5-star spa or resort, or even if you are in a location on a beach, you take yourself with you. So it doesn't matter where you are. The adjustment starts here and in our hearts. That's my experience. And believe me, I'm speaking from experience. I went through life looking for an island, looking for a place where it didn't rain so much, looking for peace, looking for something better, looking for an experience that would give me peace. And then I found out that I lived in a beautiful city called Vancouver. Always either number one, number two, number three, best cities to live in the world. I'm just trying to make a
Yep.
point. It doesn't matter whether it's Vancouver or Sydney or Melbourne or Bangladesh or Rome or Morocco or even the Arctic. You know, we take ourselves with us and we have to come to peace with ourselves because that is who we have to deal with and to wake up with every day. That's why we do the mirror work, right? We look ourselves in the mirror and we say, Christina, I forgive you for, I'm proud of you for, I commit to you for, because it's about us. Everything is about our experience. It isn't about anything exterior to us. There is nothing outside of ourselves. That is what the Course in Miracles teaches. And so, present moment, whatever's in front of us, acting from within, from the internal self, is what creates our external reality. That is what I've learned through my life, by the grace of God.
Yeah, everything actually. What I also believe that what you're saying is like first of all, this is everything who we are today. This is from our inside that brings to our outside the reality and attracts the reality. And there is no limit of thinking, and there is no perfection as well. Every time we only need to improve one step another. So there it goes, this platform I'm building now. So I thought, why not building a global platform and connecting all over the world.
Beautiful.
Initially I aspired 100 countries this year, and I then thought, why not the entire universe? How many countries? Yep, definitely. After I connect 100 countries this year, the next year I'll go to the remaining countries. And then when I found out my why I'm doing it, the purpose is actually to bring out your story, this true stories that you shared, how you're transforming. I believe that at least maybe a single person would be benefited, at least. So if that is so, the entire effort of bringing this is success. I deem it a success.
Absolutely.
And I'm not really looking for anybody's validation, not really looking for satisfying anyone. That's how a lot of time we do mistake. Why I am doing it? Okay, who do we want to satisfy? Who is criticizing me? I welcome criticism. I'm not perfect. Look, I'm doing it at home. I don't have an office. I'm trying to, and everything, universe is connecting.
Yes.
So already, so I can see that 60, 70 countries now connected. And
You are
this is
perfect,
only,
Carol. If I may,
Yes.
if I may just interrupt, you are perfect.
Sure.
You are a perfect, holy Son of God. And we only have one mind. There is only one mind, and we are all connected energetically. So if you make a difference in one person's life, you are making a difference in a multitude of lives, because it's energetic, and that person will connect energetically to many, many lives. And you're right, Kamrul, there are no mistakes, because everything is just a lesson. Everything is just something that we need to learn. You know what it says in A Course in Miracles is, trials are but lessons we haven't learned yet, presented once again. So once we learn it, then we go on to the next thing. And I know for a fact that everything that happens for a reason, and it's for our deepening, and everything is for our own healing. Because once we clean the inner vessel and we heal ourselves, that is how we can serve. That is how we create our external reality. And so everything that happens to us is really about our healing. It's not really about the other person. So, because the other person is just a mirror, because we are all one. That other person is part of us. Now, have I perfected this? Maybe not. I live a human condition, and we get triggered, by our families, by our partners, by our children. Sometimes we get triggered, but I do know this. The more and more present I am, and the more and more accepting of who I am, and the more connected I am to the universe, to God, to divinity, to myself, because I'm part of divinity, then I get triggered less and less, because I see the other person as myself. And the only thing that triggers us is our ego. So it's other egos triggering other egos. And then when we know that, we go, oh, there that is again. There is that again. And then we just acknowledge it as a tool, as another learning experience, you see. So we are all perfect, holy sons of God. It's only our egos that tells us we're not.
True. And I got another message from you, what you said, this serving mentality, the serving. We are actually, if we are thinking that we are serving, that service will take us into further dimension. That's another takeaway, by the way, for the viewers and for me. First is for me, and then and through you, I disseminate what you're saying in the serving mentality. So as you brought this service mindset, where do you see yourself in the next 10, 15, 20 years serving the entire humanity? Or where do you feel that you'll be most satisfied and you feel that your life is fulfilled, divined by serving what?
Thank you for that question. That's actually a really good question. I see myself as a server of the divine.
And I do see myself speaking and inspiring and actually transforming people's lives through my heart, just through giving so much love and sharing what I know, sharing what I know through my experiences and through my life experience. And I have to say that I do give a lot of credit to Lisa Nichols and her brilliant teaching and her beautiful heart that allowed me to be on this quest, not once but twice, to actually bring me to this place of knowing that the more authentic and transparent we are, the more that we can serve. And I've always been heading this way, and I do see myself publishing more than one book. I see myself contributing my underwater photography and my art, my paintings, into an expression towards marine conservation. That is how I see myself in that arena. There's many facets of being able to serve in marine conservation or just planetary conservation as a whole. But I feel that my role in that is to continue my expression through my underwater photography and through my paintings and through my writings, which I absolutely love. And when I'm underwater, I feel closest to divinity. And there are times when I'm here and I'm writing and I feel closest to divinity. So it's all about that. And now I have found a natural integration with speaking naturally and inspiring the world with just my stories, with just my experiences, and knowing that I'm in a place of serving. Once I remember in my head and in my heart that I'm doing it to serve others, then I'm out of my ego. Then I let go of what do I look like? Will anybody judge me? What will they say about me? Which I used to have, which is probably what has taken me so long to come out and to leap off the cliff. But here I am, and I thank you very much for asking that question, because I haven't actually said that publicly. It's the first time that I see myself in 5 or 10 years, and this is the next chapter of my life. I really do see it that way, and I feel blessed, very blessed. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you very much for sharing it. And I wish, pray, and hope, and I invite all of us that also praying for you and your wish may come true even bigger, and you can serve the entire nation. Nothing wrong that, and with this you are serving your thought and your ability would make this world a bit better place for us,
No.
for all of us, for our children, for our generations, and together we can really help our life a bit better place. And life could not have been better if we have many Christina Hepburn so surrounding us, those who thinks nature, feels artist, go and serve the nation, thinks big, act accordingly, step by step, being mindful way, compassionate way, and serving the entire nation and universe. And we look forward to see you, you know, blooming and like manifolds, like a divine color of God.
Oh,
And that's what I pray and wish, and
that's so
it's
beautiful.
for you.
Thank you. And I
So,
just I just want to say hi to some of our friends, Cameron.
sure,
Lisa
sure, please.
Winicky is here, and Linda Niles, and Saab Paris, and Samra, of course, is here with us. So wonderful to have my beloved tribe members here with us, supporting us. So just so heartfelt for me and so touching. Thank you. I honor you. I honor all of you guys. I just so love you, and I'm very grateful, Kamral, that you invited me to this very special interview as you serve in your own platform, and I'm honored to be part of it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, it's my privilege, and it's my gratitude to you that I have learned, I have taken away something from you this with this, and I hope that this message would be transparent across, and people would be believing on themselves as well. Yes, if you can do it, why not me? And we have all the abilities. We have all the universes similar to you, similar to me, and similar to whoever watching. So it's common for all. So let's believe in ourselves, dream big, take action, think service to the humanity, act globally, and look forward to excelling ourselves only, not competing ourselves by decreasing the luggage that we have from the past, make friendship with the past, and look forward for a brighter, shiny future together. All of us, we can create a better and beautiful world. One last thought from you, Christina, before we close.
Yes, we can create a beautiful and better world, one present moment at a time. And
Thank
don't
you.
forget, teach only love, because that is what you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's love be the religion from heart, mind, and brain. And let's connect with love, not other things. If it is connected by the love, I believe that the world would be much safer, much better, much peaceful, much enjoyable for all of us. And I look forward that day with this platform we can create for all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank
My
you
pleasure.
so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody who has just joined with us and would respond to your comment as we progress.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. See you soon.
Thank you.